On April 14th, 2001, the Vancouver Grizzlies lost 100 to 95 to the Houston Rockets in their final home game at GM Place. Later that summer, the NBA would officially approve the team's relocation from Vancouver, BC to Memphis, Tennessee. After just 6 brief seasons, the NBA's Canadian expansion was cut in half. To tell the whole story, we have to go back in time all the way to 1891 when famous Canadian Dr. James Naismith invented basketball. Naismith was a former athlete at McGill University in Montreal who went on to teach PE. Under orders during his teachings, he was given 14 days to come up with an indoor sport to keep his athletes out of harsh winter conditions. Fast forward a few decades, and his contributions to basketball led to the first NBA game being played in his home country, Canada, in 1946, where the New York Knickerbockers took on the Toronto Huskies in the historic Maple Leaf Gardens. Although the inaugural match took place after his passing, Naismith's impact on sports improved the future lives of millions of people and will forever be a part of history. The Huskies only lasted one season in Toronto, and the city wouldn't go on to see another franchise until 48 years later. In 1995, the NBA decided to return to Canada, with 2 teams this time, the Toronto Raptors and, of course, the Vancouver Grizzlies. Neither team was an initial success. In fact, they both spent their first couple years dead last in their respective conferences. The development of these 2 new teams over the final years of the 90s is where the differences became prominent and is a massive part of the reason as to why one team survived in their city long enough to hoist the Larry O'Brien Trophy and the other headed south of the border before it could even win 30 games in a season. There may have been ulterior motives from the league and certain members of the Grizzlies front office that set them back. They were never really able to find success. The Raptors, on the other hand, didn't face the same issues and found success through draft assets like Hall of Famers Tracy McGrady and Vince Carter, whose number 15 eternally hangs in the rafters of Scotiabank Arena. Vinsanity put Toronto basketball on the map, and Vancouver, without any real star power, struggled to keep up. Hockey is Canada's passion. Basketball was something we had to adapt to, and Vancouver didn't adapt fast enough within their 6 seasons. But now, things are changing. Over the past quarter century that we haven't had a team in Vancouver, the game's popularity has skyrocketed in Canada. Basketball is now one of the country's fastest growing team sports amongst their youth athletes. Since 2012, the NBA Canada Series has featured 15 teams and will play their 20th preseason match this coming October at Rogers Arena in Vancouver. These matches have taken place across 6 cities nationwide, drawing out over 350,000 fans to witness professional basketball at a level they rarely get to see in person. I've been blessed with the opportunity to attend some of these events and can tell you that the fans are passionately engaged and seemingly desperate for the addition of more Canadian teams. Then, who can forget 2016 when Toronto hosted the best All-Star weekend the NBA has ever seen, although we might be biased. Between Kobe's final All-Star game and the legendary dunk contest between Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon, this weekend was a sight to behold. We've also seen Canada's own pro league rising in success in the form of the CEBL, which was founded in 2017 and began play 2 years later. The Canadian Elite Basketball League now features 10 teams across the country. The league has hosted former NBA players, overseas pros, and even famous rapper J. Cole got a shot with the Scarborough Shooting Stars. It's legit, pro basketball packed with talent from all over the place. Most importantly, its affordable ticket prices make professional basketball accessible to many, which is an excellent way to encourage young fans to fall in love with the game. What's also awesome is that the professional women's game is expanding significantly soon in Canada as well, as next season, the Toronto Tempo will become Canada's first ever WNBA team to hit the court. Since Canada has been solely represented by the Raptors for nearly 25 years now in the NBA, I believe it's fair to state that most of the country's NBA fans support them, which was evident during its lively celebrations after the unforgettable Kawhi Leonard-led finals run in 2019. The streets of downtown Toronto flooded with an estimated 1 million plus fans participating in the championship parade, and from personal experience, I can say the celebrations span all the way to the West Coast. Ever since parting with the Grizzlies, Vancouver has learned to love what it once had, and there's a chance it may not be too late to get it back. For years, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver has been teasing the idea of another NBA expansion. The most likely case is that it would be two cities, similar to how things went down in 1995, but hopefully a smoother operation this time around. Fans have long speculated that Seattle would be a prime destination for a team to return to, as many believe the Supersonics fandom was wrongfully stripped of their team in 2008. Vegas is frequently mentioned as well, since they have just recently claimed teams in the other three quarters of major North American professional sports leagues. Then, as biased as I may be, Vancouver enters the conversation not too far down that list too. Adam Silver has said it himself. In retrospect, I wish we had a team in Vancouver right now. I guess the reason why I'm writing this is to say, well, first of all, Canada is ready for another team, and Vancouver deserves that chance. And second, it seems like Adam Silver clearly agrees and is even testing Vancouver as a location via the various NBA and WNBA events that are soon to be hosted here. On August 15th, we will see the Seattle Storm versus the Atlanta Dream. Then we have the Raptors versus Nuggets on October 6th, both games being at Rogers Arena, which was formerly GM Place. But that's not all, because the Dallas Mavericks also announced they will be in town to conduct their preseason training camp. It's safe to say basketball is alive and well in Vancouver, and that this momentum is unlikely to stop. Hopefully, a new NBA team is back in Vancouver as soon as possible.